This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I don't know how we're even going to live in our house because we're going to have to see it, hear it, smell it, feel it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Backlash to a phosphate mining expansion in Manatee County. Neighbors of the project and environmentalists are demanding the county commission block a proposal from Mosaic to ramp up production at its Wingate East facility. The request has already sailed through the Planning Commission and state agencies. Tomorrow, the commission will be holding its hearing, but tonight we'll show you everything you need to know about it. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have more on the proposal for expanding the Wingate phosphate mine coming up, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin tonight with President Trump's demand for an investigation into voter fraud. The president continues to insist the only reason he lost the actual vote to Hillary Clinton was because 3 to 5 million people voted illegally. Specifically, he is asking for a major investigation into voter fraud, including those registered to vote in 2 states. Well, get this. That would include his chief strategist, Steve Bannon. According to voter registration searches we performed this morning, Bannon has an active voter registration for his address here in Sarasota County on Casey Key and in New York City. Not longer after we uncovered this, we were alerted Bannon is now rescinding his Florida registration. Sarasota Supervisor of Elections got the call this morning.
Typically, voters, when they register in another jurisdiction, if they tell that jurisdiction that they're registered to vote somewhere else, then that jurisdiction or that state would let us know. So New York would let Florida know. I don't know if that was the case, if he indicated to them that he had been registered in Sarasota. So, you know, without any knowledge that a voter is registered somewhere else, I mean, we were taking it at face value.
Bannon only voted once, but it underscores while there may be sometimes issues in keeping voter rolls up to date, it doesn't necessarily mean it's fraud. A historic day on Wall Street, the Dow crossing the 12,000 mark for the first time ever. The market is up a stunning 1,667 points since President Trump's victory in November. The jump is also a reflection of the solid economy that Trump inherited from President Obama. Wall Street appears to be betting Trump's plans to slash taxes, ramp up infrastructure spending, and cut regulations will help the American economy grow faster. Tense moments at a Sarasota County Commission meeting today as Commissioner Nancy Dietert spoke strongly against the controversial Siesta Promenade project. Benderson Development wants to build 140,000 square feet of retail and condos on the northwest corner of US 41 and Stickney Point. During the discussion of the project, Commissioner Dietert said she'd like to stop the process, but none of her colleagues second the motion.
I have to ask myself, is this what I want to see on this corner? Not really. Is this what's in the public interest? You need a hotel, there's one across the street. You need a restaurant, there's one across the street.
Today was, like I said, a big homework assignment for us, and we're going to go do all of our due diligence and hopefully succeed.
This was not a final vote, but it passed 4-1. Other commissioners also expressed reservations, and we'll have more on the story coming up tonight at 11. Teachers in Manatee County are hoping an arbitrator can decide whether they get a pay raise. The school district says it can't afford raises, but the teachers union says the money is available, and they're asking for raises between $900 and $1,200, and the district to pay for insurance premium hikes.
They budget at the maximum amount for instruction, and then they don't spend it all. So we know that there is fund flexibility within the instruction line.
Mr. Proud and I are in agreement that teachers are underpaid statewide and here in Manatee, but we simply cannot afford to accept their proposal.
If the special magistrate can't resolve the stalemate in the next 2 weeks, the school board will make the final call. An update on the Bradenton mother accused of killing her daughter and hiding her body in a freezer. Kashana Thomas is asking for her trial to be moved out of Manatee County. Her attorney says she can't get a fair trial because of media coverage of the case. Her 11-year-old daughter, Jania, was found dead in October 2015. Thomas is charged with first-degree murder. She faces life in prison. The Ringling Brothers Circus is performing in Tampa tonight, the last time the greatest show on earth will perform in Florida. While the show prepares to close down in May, Parent company Feld Entertainment is set to receive more than $3.5 million in economic incentives to add jobs. Feld says even though it's firing its circus performers, it still qualifies for the incentives.
The key is that we create local jobs, we create jobs for people that are here. We move people down here from DC and the Chicago areas to be able to come down here and reinvest in real estate.
Feld says the 400 circus jobs are being cut are technically touring positions. The state of Florida does not consider part of job creation numbers. Red tide continues to plague Suncoast beaches. Moat Marine is reporting blooms of the algae from Venice to North Manatee County. The lingering bloom is causing fish kills and respiratory irritation for beachgoers. Weekend storms and high winds are being blamed for exacerbating the situation. For more on our local weather and the red tide conditions, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Ellen. Yes, it is a problem, concern here. A lot of folks on social media talking about the irritation, especially in the south end of Longboat Key, as well as near Lido. And here's the latest now. The midweek report is out, and you can see the areas in yellow. That's low to moderate concentrations being felt from Venice northward, and Nokomis Beach has had a lot of fish kills too. And by the way, you too can be a part of this project in identifying where that red tide is by going to the FWC Red Tide website and submitting a report. You can see the low concentrations, but underneath that, looking closer, and you can see New Pass right there by City Island. We have high concentrations of red tide being felt there, over 1 million cells per liter, and that definitely does cause fish kills. And so does the low concentrations, but basically it's medium and high that causes the most fish kills. And I think a fuller report comes out on Friday, or it will, and I think it will show a little bit more activity as far as that red tide goes. Currently, Sarasota, we have some clouds. They've moved in advance of a front, and that'll be the story, I think, on Thursday. Dew point is at 63, humidity at 81%. We have a south wind now at 7. That south wind could bring some sea fog our way, too, which is a problem for boaters tomorrow. You can see that thin line of showers, and no severe weather associated with it, thankfully. It's just a weak cold front. It will cool us down a little bit below average come Friday. We'll talk about that front. And another one behind it, which will make it feel like winter finally here along the Suncoast.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, it is a proposal that has sparked protests and fear. Mosaic wants to expand phosphate mining operations in Manatee County, but it still need approval from the County Commission. Find out what else is standing in the company's way when we return.
I believe that home is where your pet is.
And that loving an animal means never giving up on them, never letting them go.
I believe that when you spay or neuter your pets, you help decrease the number of homeless animals.
Because every dog and cat deserves a place to call home.
I believe that I found my best friend at a shelter. And you can too.
We believe that together with Best Friends Animal Society,
we can bring about a time when there are no more homeless pets.
Visit ambassadors.bestfriends.org.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500, starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking Dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Last fall, Mosaic delayed its request to expand phosphate mining operations in Manatee County just days after hundreds of gallons of radioactive wastewater leaked into a massive sinkhole at the company's Polk County facility. Tomorrow, Mosaic goes before the county commission, but as Adam Cellini tells us, while the application has gotten a green light from the planning commission already, some residents are not too pleased.
Well, Alan, Manatee County and Mosaic have worked together for decades, but their upcoming hearing to rezone 3,600 acres of land east of this Wingate mine for more mining operations may prove to be their most difficult.
It's going to feel like Mosaic is mining in my backyard.
It's a statement few can make, but one that's keeping Ricky Mafera and his family up at night. This dirt roadway is all that separates his Mayaca City property from what could become Mosaic's Wingate East mine.
I don't know how we're even going to live in our house because we're going to have to see it, hear it, smell it, feel it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mosaic wants to rezone Wingate East from agriculture to extraction, putting mining operations within 1,000 feet of 24 homes and possibly 500 feet from the Mafera's property line. Frustrating considering when Mafera bought the property in 1992 and built his home with his bare hands, he says that land across the street where the Mayaca River begins was environmentally protected.
They can't have their cake and eat it too. You know, if they get that, they got to relocate us. You know, I'm not going to live under all this stress, and what if they make a mistake?
The mistake he's referring to, and the one looming over this hearing, happened in September at Mosaic's facility in Mulberry. Over 200 gallons of radioactive wastewater vanishing into a sinkhole. The incident sparking protests. And on Tuesday,
County Commissioner's Office, this is Sherry.
An area-wide call-in to county commissioners.
The commissioners to do the right thing and to vote for people and earth over profit.
Both Mosaic and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection say the spill was contained. No contaminants made it into groundwater supplies like the Florida aquifer, but some remain skeptical.
I would love to meet with Mosaic, to meet with FDEP, to get an answer to just one question. Where did that water go?
Don Rice spent 23 years with the U.S. Geological Survey as a hydrologist before retiring in Parrish. Looking at Mulberry, he can't imagine a scenario where not a drop of that water reached a water source.
No. The sinkhole is down into the upper Floridan aquifer. So what happens? You have a collapsed sinkhole, whoosh, it's like a toilet getting flushed.
The sinkhole was not part of a mine, though. At Wingate East, water will be pulled from land near the Mayaca River watershed, then disposed in more secure clay settling areas. But there are still concerns that mining operations might lower the area's water table that supplies well water for several residents. And those clay settling areas will stay long after Mosaic leaves.
It's like an impervious surface. It's like a parking lot. You've forever prevented rainfall from penetrating through there.
Obviously, there are a lot of questions for Mosaic, but Mosaic would not do an interview during the week of the hearing. In the past, they've touted wetland reclamation projects at other mines to foreshadow how Wingate East would end up.
There'll be more wetlands, grouped better, and the functions will be greater than what exists there now.
You can't restore something like that once you're done. Once you dug up a stream, you've messed with the hydrodynamics that discharge water to the stream.
Residents along other Wingate properties say Mosaic is a good neighbor, always quick to replace a dried up well or test drinking water when necessary. The Maferas aren't interested in finding out.
If there is a problem like they had up here in Mulberry, we're going to be the first ones to know about it weeks and weeks in advance before they even know they have a problem.
This hearing was originally scheduled for September when the other sinkhole occurred, but Mosaic asked to move it to January 26th, this Thursday. It will start at 9 a.m. In Manatee County, Adam Cellini, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Mosaic may not want to talk about the project right now, but environmentalists do, and in a moment, we take it to the trapezoid.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Start the year off with a great deal during the Start Something New event going on now at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers. Take home a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $18,999. Or stop by today and drive away in a brand new Jeep Renegade for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Welcome back. What kind of impact would the Mosaic Wingate East mine have on Manatee County? The proposal is for more than 3,500 acres of land. It was approved by a 5-to-1 vote by the Manatee County Planning Commission in September. Mosaic is promising to replace the habitat destroyed by the project, actually increasing the number or the amount of wetlands by 14%. And joining us for more on the Wingate East proposal is Jackie Lopez, Florida Director and Staff Attorney for the Center for Biological Diversity, and Andy Mealy, Sarasota County Conservation Chair for the Sierra Club. And we want to make this absolutely clear. We invited Mosaic to have a representative on the program tonight. We even offered to change the date of tonight's program and pre-record it. But they told us that they would not have a representative available, and they also turned down our requests for an interview on this project. So that being said, this is up to the County Commission tomorrow. What would you both say in terms of what we just saw in Adam's story and what happened in Polk County to say that they should vote against it or at least have some poise? Jackie, go ahead.
Yeah, that the commission is charged with protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of Manatee County. And it has plenty of guidance documents to help it do that, like its comprehensive plan, like its mining plan. And if you look at the proposal that's before them, there are simply too many inconsistencies with these plans that are designed to protect human health.
What do you mean inconsistencies?
Well, so for example, the plans say that you can't develop mines in certain wetland areas, that you can't develop the mine in the Peace River watershed overlay area. And so Mosaic is seeking exemptions from these things that are just their common sense measures to protect the environment. And so it's not just a simple request to do something that would otherwise be allowed, but it's a request to deviate from the norm of these protections.
But we have precedents of builders coming in and building various projects where they may have to destroy wetlands in one area, but they promise to create wetlands in another. Andy, what is wrong with that?
Created wetlands and mitigated wetlands are never up to the spec that comes down from God. Mosaic's hubris is just astonishing. They're assuring us that they're going to put everything back together better than it was originally created. The headwaters of the Peace River, the headwaters of the Myakka River, the headwaters of the Manatee River. One's a wild and scenic river, 2 are drinking water sources. The way they reclaim mines is dumping tens of thousands of gallons of Roundup on them to kill off the pernicious weeds that grow there. Roundup being the material, the active ingredient being glyphosate, which is the new global pollutant of concern, and it's going to go into those rivers.
But the company would probably say, look, we are a mainstay of industry in this part of Florida, not only in Manatee County, but obviously in Polk County and around the state, with the exception of the sinkhole last September. They have been a good corporate and environmental citizen.
Phosphate mining is a net economic loss to the state of Florida, to the people and the state of Florida. It is leaving behind a legacy, a toxic legacy of 23 massive mountains of radioactive and toxic waste for future generations to deal with. It's the ultimate economic externality. It's the ultimate downstream pollutant. It's being done on a scale that just beggars the imagination.
We have just a couple of seconds left in this segment. If all of this is true, why do they have so much momentum going into this hearing?
It's momentum carried over from the last few decades. They've been really successful in getting communities to buy into what they're doing, but now's the time to draw a line in the sand and say we're not going to give up 1 more inch.
Okay, our proposal, our talk about the proposal to expand phosphate mining is just getting going. We'll come back in just a moment with a check on our forecast, so stay with us.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new adventure. From meeting curious lemurs to feeding big cats and hosing down rhinos, there's never a dull moment. And sometimes these amazing animals chime in. Tune in to Animal Outtakes to find out what they have to say. Watch Animal Outtakes every week on ABC7.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need
the Debt Ninja. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, you could be facing wage garnishments, levies, liens, property seizure, cancellation of business license, closure of business. The Debt Ninja fights your IRS debt. That's why you need the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja has found the best companies in the country who are on your side to fight debt. Want to learn if you qualify for the IRS Financial Hardship Program? Stop the IRS from garnishing your wages. Even if your bank account has been seized, if you have undeclared taxes, if you have existing IRS debt, it's not too late to call, so grab your phone now. Call the Debt Ninja at 800-945-0083. That's 800-945-0083. Settle your IRS debt to get the power of the Debt Ninja. Dial this number now, 800-945-0083.
I am an originalist.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
Our discussion of the proposal to expand the Wingate mine in Manatee County continues in just a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. A beautiful afternoon, and then clouds came late today. Take a look at what's happening with the Casey Key webcam. You can see waves have calmed down a little bit out there. We looked at generally fair skies throughout most of the morning, and then eventually those clouds came around and brought in some, not any rain. We're not looking at any rainfall right now, but we are looking at the potential for some showers in the future, and it looks like the waves will kick up again over the weekend as a result of what is going to be another cold front that'll move on down and it'll be here in place, it looks like, as early as Saturday night, Sunday morning. So that front will eventually bring us a chance for some showers. Currently at the Sarasota Braden Airport, we have some clouds around 69 degrees. Dew point is at 63, and with that south wind, the humidity is coming up from the south, and that's going to give us a chance for some sea fog to form. That fog will be around in the morning, and then we'll see clouds throughout the day tomorrow. So not as much sunshine on Thursday with a chance for a few showers. 74 the high. It was a warm day today, above average. 71 is our average high temperature, and no rainfall to report so far for the month. We're just over ½ inch below average, and we are anticipating some showers tomorrow, not a lot of accumulation. A better chance for rain comes on Sunday as the secondary front moves through. Temperatures all pretty much in the 60s with the exception of Key West and Miami now, 72 into Miami. Well, the forecast tomorrow, although this model depicting some showers all throughout the day, they'll be sporadic at best and not a lot of heavy rainfall anticipated. Temperatures will be into the mid-70s despite the rain that may be around and the clouds for the most part. Here's a look at the RPM forecast model showing that onshore flow, southwest wind does bring some fog at times as the warm, moist air moves over the relatively cooler waters of the Gulf. And then here comes the front, not much to it at all. A few showers out ahead of it on Thursday in the afternoon. And then again in the evening, the rain chance only at about 30% for a few passing showers Friday. Look for a mixture of sun and clouds. And then Saturday late, another front arrives and brings with it some cooler temperatures. So get ready for at least a string of days that we'll see temperatures below average. We haven't had that at all this winter. And now there is a low pressure area spinning across parts of the upper Midwest and throughout the Great Lakes right now, bringing some snowfall into Wisconsin, northern Illinois near Chicago. It's rain, but it'll change over to snow tonight and some snow showers as well into parts of Michigan. Another big storm system setting up off west, and this is going to be the case in the next several days over the weekend. This will come ashore and bring with it a good chance for some more snow, heavy snow, and some rain there. The cool air has been to our north, but it will slowly settle into our direction beginning, it looks like Friday and continuing through Saturday and Sunday. For boaters, a moderate chop in the bays and inland waters. Seas will be running 2 to 3 feet tomorrow. Seas will be a little bit choppier, I think, over the weekend. High tide at 10:12 tonight, and sunrise will be at 7:19. Tonight, a little bit of sea fog possible, 62 for your low. And it will be a nice day tomorrow, although the clouds will be around. It'll still be warm, mid-70s for highs. They extend the forecast. Well, here come the 60s for a while. Friday through Tuesday, temperatures will remain below average. Alan will be right back after this.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Adam Cellini. Protecting people at risk of stroke and other heart problems.
Tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll show you the new procedure being offered at Sarasota Memorial Hospital that could help save lives. John?
We have a cold front approaching that's going to bring us some chillier weather for the weekend. We'll talk about how cold it might get.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Get the new year off to a great start with safety and peace of mind. Subaru was named the 2016 Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted, and Best Performance Brand by Kelley Blue Book. And ALG named Subaru its top mainstream brand for residual value for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages. They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing the proposal by Mosaic to expand phosphate mining operations in Manatee County. Tomorrow, Manatee County Commissioners will hold a hearing on the matter. Our guests tonight are Jackie Lopez of the Center for Biological Diversity and Andy Melee of the Sierra Club. We want to note once again that we made multiple requests to have Mosaic on this show tonight. We made multiple requests for interviews. No one from the company was made available. Let's just do a real big picture here, because the industry for many years has been focused around Polk County. You did have this one Mosaic facility in Manatee County, but correct me if I'm wrong, the industry mining operations are continually going to be moving south through our area, correct?
That's right.
The phosphate deposits get deeper as they go south, so the various mining companies from late 1800s started up north where the deposits were practically at the surface, and they've been working their way southward into the deeper and more economically challenging areas.
And I would imagine if you have to dig deeper for it, it also makes the operation itself even more difficult.
Alan, I was driving up to Tampa this morning trying to think of a word or a couple of words that describe what happens when they strip mine for phosphate, and I couldn't come up with anything. Excavate doesn't even begin to cover it. What they are doing is eliminating the upper, they're creating a hole, just a huge hole 60 feet deep on a landscape-wide scale, just digging up everything.
But Andy, what are
in the most astonishing level?
What are the alternatives? We depend upon phosphate for fertilizer to feed not only our country but the world.
We depend because we're still dealing with the dregs of the Green Revolution. Regenerative agriculture is under examination and being piloted all around the world under the aegis of the UN. Regenerative agriculture regenerates the soil, it sequesters carbon, it preserves topsoil, it rebuilds the topsoil, and Mosaic says we feed the world. The fact is, small farms feed the world. 25% of the farms left in the world are small traditional farms, and they produce 50% of the food.
Jackie, if the concerns about this mining operation were so serious, why has it sailed past the Planning Commission and is in front of the County Commission again?
So the Planning Commission actually had some really serious concerns, and the staff report pointed those concerns out. It's before the Board of Commissioners now upon an approval by the Planning Commission, but there was some dissent to that. And now, as we'll see tomorrow, there is massive public opposition to allowing Manatee County to do any further damage to the county. I mean, Manatee County has a robust economy. It has transitioned and is now mostly dependent on tourism, and to allow the continued degradation of the land and to put these to put waters at risk the way that the mines will do is simply not acceptable to the county.
Well, can we describe both the pressures on the County Commission at this very hour not to approve this and the pressures to approve it?
I'm not sure they're under a terrific amount of pressure not to approve it. That's up to us tomorrow, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed that they will listen, actually. They're under a lot of pressure to give the approvals out of a fear, sort of an institutionalized fear of Harris Act takings lawsuits. Mosaic has threatened them. It's actually delivered on Manatee County once before when the county dared to deny a permit for the Altman tract several years ago.
What about possible litigation from opponents like yourselves?
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're hopeful that the Commission will take into account the fact that this mine is not consistent with what the county residents want. I think it's possible that there would be litigation regardless of the outcome, but...
Now, I mean, Mosaic as a corporation, and again, it has been a long time established company in our area, but they do wield a lot of political influence. I mean, they support a lot of candidates who are in office, running for office, and they claim they are been a good corporate citizen and good for the community. And I would imagine, again, with the exception of the sinkhole that opened up in Polk County, If there were continued incidents that put the public in danger, wouldn't they have been shut down by now?
What do you think? Do you want to take that?
Well, I mean, even as recent as last year, the EPA settled a lawsuit with Mosaic for what will amount to $2 billion in fines for the mistreatment, mishandling of hazardous waste. Year after year, you can go through to the EPA records and see violations of Clean Water Act permits. There are Clean Air Act violations. So I don't know the explanation of why it's continued to allow to exist, but it certainly is problematic. I mean, it's resulted in removing 200,000 acres of land and adding 1 billion tons of radioactive waste just in Florida.
Has the federal EPA been active enough in terms of monitoring this?
So there was a really big investigation a few years ago looking at radiation hotspots on reclaimed land where people now live in Lakeland. And the EPA got really close to announcing the area as a Superfund site, but decided that the problem was too large and too expensive to tackle. And then for probably a variety of political reasons, the state of Florida kicked the EPA out and said, we don't want you to do flyovers, we don't want you to handle this, we can handle it ourselves.
And the state of Florida has been how involved in this process?
In which process?
In terms of if they were kicking the EPA out, I'm not sure how you kick the federal government out, but have they been overseeing operations and the environmental issues?
That particular issue, the radiation in Lakeland, has just sort of gone away.
They did not follow up. They said, we'll take care of it. We'll do it, you know, states' rights, all that. They haven't done a thing.
You know, again, the phosphate industry has set up institutes in terms of studying the best practices and how to remediate environmental issues. I would imagine they're deploying these techniques over Polk County and in Manatee County if they were needed. But you're basically saying that you have no confidence in this company to do it the right way, or is there a right way to do this?
Phosphate mining is one of the most spectacularly wasteful production processes left in America. For every ton of phosphate rock that goes off to be separated at a float plant, there's 5 tons of toxic and hazardous waste that goes up onto the phosphogypsum stacks. There are staggering amounts of toxic waste on the toxic release inventory at EPA. 5 million pounds a year coming out of the 5 chemical plants where the phosphoric acid is made. That's the feedstock for the fertilizer. 5 million pounds. It gets released into the environment by diluting it to regulatory standards with millions of gallons of water from our aquifer.
Again, to play devil's advocate, you say this industry has been in Florida for hundreds of years?
100-ish.
Okay. Wouldn't we be able to document at this point the health effects on Florida residents here and even out of state if this was substantially causing health problems? Jackie?
Yeah, if someone were paying attention to it, we would be able to do that. Absolutely. We don't think that enough attention has been paid to the human health effects or researched domestically. There are many international studies that show that heavy metals are concentrated downstream of phosphate mines, that show that reclaimed mines have increased levels of radiation, that show that animals that are put to pasture at reclaimed lands experience acute and chronic effects from fluorosis. Those things have been studied internationally, but not domestically.
Let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of our viewers are saying about the closing of hundreds of major retail stores. So stay with us.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Start the year off right with a great deal during the Start Something New event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come drive the most awarded SUV of all time, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, or shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers. Stop by today and drive away in a new Jeep Compass for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Welcome back. Could expanding phosphate mining in Manatee County help our local economy? Is it worth the potential environmental hazards? Our guests join us now for final thoughts. Andy, has the Sierra Club tried to lobby county commissioners or staff in terms of your position and in hopes of trying to get through to them?
You're not allowed to lobby the commissioners. It just isn't done. It would have been lovely to have some meetings with staff. Mosaic has been, as the applicant of course, has been in meetings with staff for months or even years on a daily basis, and we can't even get a meeting with staff just to air our concerns.
What happens when you ask?
Well, we were offered potential time, but it just never materialized, and that was just for an hour or so, and we had to behave. They told us we had to behave like we were kids.
Okay. Jackie, when it boils it down to what is at stake, in your opinion, for Manatee County residents tomorrow?
So Manatee County is at a watershed moment. Allowing this mine could open the floodgates to further mining in the region. Mosaic already owns 1 out of every 12 acres in Manatee County. We want the commissioners to take into account the long-term economic and environmental benefits of keeping the land the way that it is and not sacrificing it for some potential short-term economic gain.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, but it's worthwhile saying again, it would behoove Mosaic to be on this broadcast tonight to explain its position and to communicate with Manatee County residents and commissioners about why they think this project should go forward and to belay some of the concerns that people have about the impact of it. But we'll see what happens. Before we go, we want to share what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, a sharp decline in retail sales and the closing of the Macy's department stores, including one in Sarasota. After posting double-digit share losses at the end of 2016, retailers like Macy's, Sears, and Kmart began closing hundreds of locations and cutting tens of thousands of jobs. Experts say the rise of online shopping is to blame. Here is what some of you are saying. Debbie Sorrells writes, "I hate online shopping. I hate to see any store being closed and the employees lose their jobs." Rachel Zackel writes, "I think by the year 2040 we won't have retail stores anymore." And Linda Souza writes, "Everywhere around the country this is becoming the trend. I live in Rhode Island and Macy's, JCPenney, and Sears, and now Kohl's are taking a hit. It's the same when it comes to printed materials, i.e. books, newspapers, etc., all converting to online before too long. Visitors will see a book and writing instruments in the Smithsonian." Well, for one part, thank you for tuning in all the way from Long Island. Let us know what you think about Mosaic's phosphate mine expansion proposal by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And you could also let Manatee County Commissioners know what you think. You could contact them on manatee.org under County Commissioners. And FYI, want to watch past roundtable discussions? They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Jackie Lopez is the Florida Director and Staff Attorney for the Center for Biological Diversity, and Andy Melee is the Conservation Chair for the Sierra Club of Sarasota County. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus building the wall. President Donald Trump takes the first step in making his campaign promise a reality. We'll have the details in our primetime headlines.
Man, he used to hang out with us.
Yeah, and then he just stopped.
I hope he's gonna be okay.
1 in 5 of us has a mental health condition, but emotional pain can be hard to spot and harder to talk about. Learn the 5 signs of emotional suffering. If you see 1 or more signs in someone you care about, reach out, connect, and offer to help.
Megan, come sit with us.
Talking about the literature too.
And our answers for questions.
Visit changedirection.org.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500, starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Attention small business owners. Penn Funding announces the easiest and fastest business funding program, the Platinum Business Account.
We needed cash fast. Business is good, but this is an emergency.
We needed some new equipment, and the banks wouldn't help us.
At Penn Funding, we like to say, yes, you're approved. With your Platinum Business Account, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more. This amazing new business account funding program is so effective, you could have the cash you need in just days.
I called, spoke with an agent who pre-qualified us, and connected me.
Call now for your Platinum Business Account. If you've been in business for at least 6 months, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more in just days.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
Need cash for your business? Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-658-3433. 800-658-3433.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, you needed some actually bright colored balls to see your ball this morning here at the Buffalo Creek Golf and Country Club. Morris sending this photo in. You see the fog was rather thick, especially inland areas as a result of the dew point and temperature getting so close to one another this morning with the clear skies. But tomorrow it's going to be a different story. We're still going to see some fog around as a result of some onshore flow. We could get some sea fog moving on in. Well, the midweek report is here as far as the red tide is concerned. We're starting to see it make a comeback due to the stirring up of the seas due to the strong winds we saw over the weekend. And looks like concentrations are getting higher, especially near New Pass, where they were starting to fade away. You can see that one right there, containing over, again, 1 million parts or 1 million cells per liter in that particular area. And fish kills have been reported in near Longboat Key as well as near Nokomis as a result of, again, this red tide that seems to be lingering. Now, this is Alan's favorite right here. This is a military shaft that is moving through South Florida, extending all the way over into the Atlantic now. And doing some research, found out that certainly there are lots of military exercises going on for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to see this played out, I do believe, as we move through time this week and into next week as well. And this is a defensive measure that the aircraft use to disguise their location as they release this material. It kind of it blocks the radar picture, blocks the radar from getting to them. Sarasota right now 69 degrees, cloudy skies. Braden at 70, at 69 in Venice. So pretty nice up and down the coast, really for this time of year. Upper 60s to low 70s. Osprey at 71 degrees. Port Charlotte at 65. Rotunda at 66 degrees. And tomorrow I'll look for a lot of clouds around. We'll see that fog, low-lying clouds, and then increasing clouds throughout the midday with a chance for a few passing showers. Rain chance not all that high, 30%, but there'll be a few around. And then another front to move through on Saturday night, Sunday morning, and bring with it a good chance for some scattered showers. No heavy rain anticipated, but we will stay cool. Temperatures will stay below average. Once we get through Friday, it will be cool sailing for the next several days. As far as the rest of the U.S. is concerned, we are looking at a storm system move through rather quickly over the Great Lakes and out west. Another one set to move onshore in about 3 days from now into the Pacific Northwest. 39 in Boston. Temperatures pretty warm in Columbus, 51. Toledo, 49. Rapid City at 21 degrees. Salt Lake City, 26. And in Dallas, it's 51 degrees. So that cool air is kind of to the north. It's cool. It's not extremely cold either. That cool air will be headed our way, it looks like, beginning, it looks like as early as Friday. And you'll see that as that cold air sinks southward. Here's the boating forecast. A moderate chop for bays and inland water, seas running 2 to 3 feet. Tide upcoming, high tide for Sarasota Bay at 10:12. Tomorrow's low tide at 6:43. Sea fog possible, especially south, 62 for a low. Tomorrow, look for the fog to burn off, partly cloudy, 76 for a high. And the extended forecast shapes up to be pretty cool. So time to grab your sweaters and jackets. We'll get down into some winter weather for Florida anyway, with a good chance for clouds and showers on Sunday. Prime time headlines with Alan will be right up next. Stick around.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
The different eating habits of Presidents Obama and Trump. Details in Health Smart.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second Spin Mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Thinking about having surgery can be a scary thing. Take somebody who's in severe pain, bring them in, take good care of them, and then get them out and back to their life is huge. We focus on minimally invasive approaches when possible, and oftentimes people can be back up on their feet in a day or two with a whole lot less pain than before surgery. We fix people's lives. We do.
Whether a family member needs a little extra help around the house, assistance recovering from a hospital stay, or someone to check in on them throughout the week, Right at Home's in-home care is the answer. Your loved one deserves the right care, and now we need caregivers to help give the right care for the right reasons, the right way. At Right at Home, we're one of the only private home health agencies in this area with the opportunity to earn paid time off. If you're someone who loves helping people, take a look at our website and click on Jobs to join our team today.
Come out to the best party of the season, the Goodwill Mardi Gras Gala on February 28th at Michael's on E. Tickets at experiencegoodwill.org.
Now for a look at your primetime headlines. Build that wall. Remember that? It was the promise President Trump made throughout his campaign. Now he is trying to make good on it. ABC's Kenneth Moten has reaction from border states.
The first step to President Donald Trump's signature campaign promise.
We will build a great wall.
But the executive actions to build that wall along the U.S.-Mexico border and restrict immigration are already facing big barriers. In California, Governor Jerry Brown is preparing for a battle.
We will defend everybody, every man, woman, and child who's come here for a better life and has contributed to the well-being of our state.
Immigration advocates pointing to negative impacts on immigrant families and businesses who need workers. Trump and supporters pointing to safety.
And you have to understand what I'm doing is good for the United States. It's also going to be good for Mexico.
Considering the terrorist attacks that have taken place, I mean, I don't blame them for deciding to take that action.
Trump's plan to crack down on immigration and sanctuary cities has led to widespread protests. In Texas, there's mixed reaction about a border wall and doubts about its effectiveness along rugged terrain. Trump promises Mexico will pay for it, but for now, crucial Homeland Security funds will be diverted.
I don't think a wall is feasible. I don't think it's particularly the smartest way to use taxpayer dollars on infrastructure.
Opponents may be moving fast to take on President Trump's immigration plans, but Trump is moving even faster. He says construction on that border wall will start in a few months. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A follow-up now on the man charged with murdering his pregnant ex-girlfriend and an Orlando police officer. Markeith Lloyd is making his first appearance today on charges of resisting arrest. He will not be released. Another judge already set no bond on his murder charges. A couple in Manatee County is facing child neglect charges after deputies say they overdosed in their vehicle with 2 infants in the back seat. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies were called to the Texaco gas station on East Road this morning, where they found the couple passed out in the front seat of an SUV with the engine running, a 5-month-old and an 18-month-old buckled in car seats. William Ballard and Delaney Christinger are now under arrest. Deputies say they found meth, fentanyl, heroin, and other drug paraphernalia in the car. Law enforcement and lawmakers are meeting in Tallahassee to discuss ways to address the opioid crisis, claiming nearly 10 lives every day in Florida. The coalition is calling for an expansion of drug treatment programs. There is also discussion of the increasing penalties for trafficking opioids such as heroin, fentanyl, and prescription pills. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the drugs are becoming increasingly toxic.
You have no idea if you buy anything on the street what's really in it. And that's what everyone needs to know. It can kill you instantly.
The coalition says a program set up several years ago to monitor the number of prescription opioids in the state needs to be revamped and expanded. Governor Rick Scott is calling for more than $600 million in tax cuts in the coming year. Scott is touring the state promoting the plan. He wants to cut sales taxes on commercial rents by 25%. He also wants to expand back-to-school sales tax holidays to 10 days and add a 3-day sales tax holiday for veterans. Scott also pushed to eliminate sales taxes on college textbooks. Legislators will consider his tax plan in the upcoming session. Finally tonight, she could turn the world on with a smile. Actress Mary Tyler Moore has passed away. She died in the company of friends and her husband of 33 years, Dr. Robert Levine. Moore's role as the spunky housewife on the Dick Van Dyke Show in the 1960s made her famous. Many of us remember her as Mary Richards from her days in the newsroom on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Moore's rep says she will be remembered as a fearless visionary who turned the world on with a smile. Mary Tyler Moore was 60 years old. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.